What is up, lovely people? Welcome back to Blueprint Japan. My name is Osan, and today is January 1st, 2026. Happy New Year. I wanted to take a very brief moment to say thank you so much to every single one of you out there. This podcast is growing. I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless. I am so grateful for every single one of you. Over the span of 6 months, we have hit almost 100 followers only for the podcast across all platforms. And I didn't even put video out there yet. And we hit almost 300 streams and downloads. I am so grateful. Thank you so much. This podcast has reached 12 countries, and it gave me a good understanding of where I can take this podcast, where I can take this platform. I haven't been promoting it properly under my personal brand just because, a lot was going on. But now I think it's a time to do so. But I do need your help. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about where this podcast is headed to. And a couple of weeks back, I sat down with a good friend of mine. Her name is Janam. She runs her own podcast called the Kotodama Podcast. So that's Kotodama. You can go check her out on YouTube. Her podcast is about life, and she has amazing guests. They have unbelievably interesting topics. And so we were just bouncing off ideas, and I was asking, how she was doing her stuff. And it's always good to get inspired by your friends and people who are doing similar things but better. And so she was like, well, why did you start your podcast? And I was like, well, just because, I wanted to help people. And she was like, why do you want to help people? And I was like, well, I think, and that's how the tagline of this podcast came alive, which is Japan can be hard. This podcast will help. This is a small variation of the Modern Wisdom podcast by Chris Williams. And again, it gave me a very good direction of what exactly I want to achieve with this podcast. And then she was like, well, okay, but why is that important to you? Well, I was like, a couple of points. One, Japan can be really, really tough if you don't know how to navigate the system, if you don't know how to operate within the rules. It can be really hard. And I've had many people, many close friends who left Japan because it just didn't work out for them, because they didn't understand the rules or the system, or they started seeing the negative things, the dark side of Japan, basically. And I don't want to talk only about the, positive sides of Japan. Obviously, no country is perfect. No place is perfect. And no place will ever be perfect. That's just how life is. But I think it's on us to see the golden nuggets and to find the bits and pieces to hang on to and to find ourselves in that place. And so for me, it wasn't Switzerland, it wasn't Turkey. And I was born and raised in Zurich, amazing city, Switzerland, amazing country. It just wasn't and still is not for me, because I observe things and I go like, well, it's getting worse and worse over there. And I just don't fit in that culture anymore. And, when I first got here 3 years ago, I didn't have any, what's the word that I'm looking for, any signposts on how to make things happen. Because usually when you get here, you either come here as a student and then you have a guarantor, which is your school, or you come here as an employee and then you have your guarantor, which is your employer. And then there's another option um, with the working holiday visa, which also is more known than any other self sponsored visa out there. And so I wish I had resources that I could rely on and go like, okay, so without an employer, without a guarantor, this is how you can rent an apartment. This is how you can open a bank account. I just didn't have those resources available to me. And so I, so that's reason one. I wish I had resources that I could rely on. And so I'm building this platform to basically be that resource for people that are looking for certain answers that they couldn't find elsewhere. That's number one. Number two, Japan is changing and it's changing rapidly. Even over the past months, we have seen at least two major changes. One regarding the new business manager visa, and two, just I think this week or last week regarding the real estate market. Oh, three, banking and financing. Like Japan is changing so fast that I just can't even keep up with reading the news and understanding them. And so because of that, because of all the updates, because of, you know, and all those updates, by the way, are in fields that I operate in or that I worked in previously. I mean, immigration, visa situation or establishing companies, housing related, real estate market, market entry. Um, and so because of that, I want to inform, well, one, I want to get informed. And two, I want to help people get informed and make a better, more informed and more educated decision on these topics. And so obviously, I don't know anything about Japan. I came here 3 years ago. I'm still figuring out so many things. But what I enjoy doing is getting the experts to talk, asking the right questions, digging in, having conversations with people that I like, doing cool stuff with cool people to have cool results, basically. And so, because of that, I started reaching out more and more to many amazing people that already are in my network that said, you know, yes to being a guest on the podcast. And I'm so happy and I'm so excited to have them as a guest, as an expert to share their expertise, but also their experience. So I'm not only looking for experts in the field, but I'm also looking for people who are curious, but also open enough to share their own experience on all things Japan. And I think, tying this back to childhood, I, you know, being born and raised in a culture that wasn't my own, but then also experiencing a different culture at home and then experiencing different cultures with my friends who, which by the way is super interesting. So Zurich is a multinational city, and we have a multicultural city. When I'm thinking back of my elementary school kids and my friends during high school or middle school, high school, college, university, they almost none of them were pure Swiss people. It was like Italians and Portuguese people, Koreans, Chinese people, Turks. Like we had people from all over the world. And because of that, I think I came to appreciate that every single person has a voice and every single one of us has a voice that should be heard when appropriate. We don't have to be experts. We don't have to be leaders. We don't have to be um, influencers to get a platform and to share our own experiences. And so, with that in mind, I have lined up guests from the finance world, from the drifting world, JDM. I have someone who will speak about something very personal and death, well, life and death related in Japan. I'm trying to get many more people to talk about, social structures and um, talking about being bicultural and bilingual parents, so parenthood and raising children in Japan as a foreign or like half family. Like there are so many interesting topics that I don't know. I maybe this is like just me discovering Japan again and trying to go all in, but like there are so many little details that I did not think of before moving to Japan. And I see a lot of posts on Facebook groups, on LinkedIn, on Reddit regarding schooling, regarding setting up businesses, regarding getting permissions and licenses. And then when I read the answers, and again, I'm not an expert on any of those topics, but then when I genuinely go through the answers, I go like, well, you know what? Actually, I know someone or at least one person that could give them a proper answer based on their expertise, based on their own experience, and just again help others just make life easier in Japan and get more information, make information more accessible to more people. That's basically the goal or the conclusion that I came to. Now, I'm going to have a lot of fun with this podcast, regardless of the numbers. If it's one person that listens to this, it's one person. If it's a million people, then I think we made it. um, but I do need your help. And why am I saying this? Well, I started building my network from zero. When I came to Japan, I didn't go to school here. I didn't go to, university here. And so I went to a lot of networking events, met many people, but I can only do so much by myself. And if you want to be a voice on my podcast, if you have something to share regarding Japan, be that positive, be that, a criticism about Japan, please reach out to me on LinkedIn, reach out to me via email. If you know someone who could be a very valuable, well, invaluable guest for my podcast, please introduce me to that person or give that person a link to this podcast and encourage them to reach out to me. That would mean the world to me. I'm really dedicated this year, and I don't think much, I don't hold much of, New Year beginnings and stuff like that. But this, let's call it season, this season of my life, for once, I really want to stay consistent and I want to deliver quality information to quality people out there. And for that, I do need your support and I do need your help. Also, there will be a lot of solo episodes because two reasons. One, I do need to get better at speaking and speaking into the mic and speaking English, which is not my native language, but it never has been an excuse for me not to go out there, not to talk to people. And so two, I want to respond to as many questions that you have, individual questions, questions regarding Japan. So I'll do the research and I can deliver those answers to you in a proper way. Now, having said that, if you're listening to this from any other country, if it's German, Swiss German, Turkish, or Spanish, or French, or Japanese, and you don't feel comfortable in English, drop down the questions in your native language. If it's a language that I speak, I'm happy to answer, to have like a full episode in that language for you to explain matters to you in your native language. I'm fluent in 5 languages. I'm passive in 8, I want to say. And so if there's something out there, if language is holding you back from commenting, from answering, from commenting, from um, asking, then please, let's break that barrier, because language has never been an issue and it will never be an issue. And so, yeah, with that having said, thank you so much again for listening. I wish you a happy 2026. And yeah, thank you for your support. Stay humble, stay curious, stay healthy. Peace.